Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
I'm concerned with what I found.
Wait, what? What? What is actually happening right now? The Lawn Gnome is actually recording a video in which he's reviewing a new movie in 2020? Why, yes! That is exactly what I'm doing. Even though it's a made-for-TV movie and not something that I was able to see on the big screen, because clearly we still cannot do that yet, but hopefully, come July, we will be able to do so. So, we're going to at least fill in another gap, if you will, because we have a very interesting movie to discuss today, which was a made-for-TV film from HBO Films, and it was called Bad Education, starring a great cast including Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney, and Ray Romano. So, this movie is actually based on a true story that happened in the early 2000s, specifically with a Long Island high school in the town of Roslyn in Nassau County. So, this is actually a story that is something that I didn't know about when this was actually happening, and the scary part is I was actually going to college about 10 minutes away from where this story was actually taking place. So, for me, it was definitely a little bit of interesting history to find out about, but it was actually my wife and her family that really were interested in this film more than I was, which really was what piqued my curiosity, because they are also residents of Long Island, and they knew about this, and they wanted to actually see this story unfold. So, it is the story of the superintendent of the Roslyn High School District for the public school system, Frank Tassone, and the assistant superintendent, Pam Gluckin. And they are doing wonders for the schools in the district as well as the community. They are getting the grades up, and because of the fact that the students are performing well, the funding for the school is skyrocketing, and at the beginning of the film we find out that the Roslyn High School District is number 4 in early admissions for some of the most elite colleges for their seniors. And as the movie starts to go on, we find out that due to a small mistake from Pam's son, a conspiracy starts to unfold, not just because of the fact that it is because of this stupid act, but also because of a student named Rachel who just had the audacity to uncover a couple of things that just didn't make sense to her in regards to some of the projects that the school district was working on. And what we find out is that Pam and Frank have been teaming up to embezzle money for the sake of just making their lives a hell of a lot better. And throughout this film, we see the dominoes fall. We see their lives basically living on the razor's edge. We see how they are suddenly despised, even though all the great work that they did, they also improved on their own lives at the expense of the taxpayers of the community. Even though the kids were still doing well, the parents were still very much suffering at their own expenses. It's definitely not the best movie that I've seen this year, but there are a great deal of interesting things. The story itself is definitely intriguing, and it was so interesting to see how the conspiracy with the embezzlement scheme actually did unfold. I love the acting, though. This was definitely one of Hugh Jackman's best performances of his career, and Allison Janney never disappoints. She nailed the Long Island accent as Pam perfectly, and I'm really hoping that she gets an Emmy nomination for this performance, and even Ray Romano did a great job as well. It is definitely a movie that I would recommend because it's just interesting to see an event that has been so recent just take shape and see how these people in power were actually brought down just because of intuition and curiosity, especially considering the fact that HBO has really been on a kick in 2020 around these whole conspiracies that were caught, like this event, as well as their 6-part documentary McMillions, which I highly recommend as well. I like these kinds of stories, but I just didn't think that the film as a whole was executed well, even though there still were some great things. And also, So, as someone who has been to that town, the fact that they even took some time to really shoot a couple of the actual landmarks of Roslyn, and so many familiar things that both me and my wife have seen over the years, it was just cool to actually see the town of Roslyn filmed in a movie. I just really liked that. So yeah, I would recommend you get the opportunity. You can definitely check it out on demand, or you can set your DVR on HBO because it is playing at this point. And I will give Bad Education 2.5 stars out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss Bad Education, and I will see you in the next one.
Bart is a little name for a big guy. What is your full name, Bart?
Bartholomew Jojo Simpson.
Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.